center field. Going back is Gonzalez. It is gone! Two-run home run by Schwarber. Stays put, and there's a high fly ball. Deep right field. Harper watches it fly.
And we are back for an opening day episode of the Double Switch podcast. Spring's over. Everybody's healthy for the most part. It's getting nice outside. You know, I can feel all the dopamine, hitting my brain. It's a good time of the year, John. I'm starting to feel good. Phillies are back in town. That's always good. How are you doing?
Well, you said it, man. It is the best time of the year. There's no maybe.
You got
opening day eve. It's better than Christmas Eve at this point in my life because I'm an adult. But I'm thrilled. I just want to turn on the TV and watch some ball already.
Yeah, so between the Phillies coming back, I mean, you have the Masters in a couple weeks. The weather's getting nice. For those of you who like March Madness, it's just a terrific time of the year to just exist. But the Phils are here, and I have some very, very bold predictions for what's going to happen. Some may say I'm just out of my mind, but I have strong conviction of my hot takes, my bold predictions, and I think some of them are going to come true. So, if you don't mind, Johnny, would you mind cueing trivia time?
All right, you're good.
All right. Johnny, this should be a layup for you, but I need a transition into my first question, my first bold prediction. Last year, 3 Phillies received MVP votes. Please tell me those 3 Phillies, and you cannot get anybody wrong.
3 Phillies got them. Oh, I obviously know the 2, Wheeler and Harper.
Yep.
Most certainly did. The third guy that got him, I imagine the third person didn't get very many.
No, but they did get some votes.
Oh,
is this a tricky one for you? I thought.
Well, the third one, I mean, there's like 5 guys that probably deserved a small amount of votes.
Okay, well, who do you think was most worthy, I guess?
I'm thinking about that. I really want to keep my lead here, so.
It's 3-3, so this is for the lead, I believe.
Well, yeah, I'm manifesting my lead here. Could it be Bohm?
Is that your final answer?
No, it's not.
What was I supposed to say?
All right, yeah, it's Bohm.
It's not Bohm. That is
who was it?
Incorrect. It's Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber received MVP.
Oh, those were the 2 I was between.
Yeah, I figured. But it's pretty impressive for a team to have 3 guys who receive MVP votes. I'm kind of expecting the same, but my bold prediction number 1, I think Max Kepler is going to receive MVP votes. And I say that knowing that way back when he had that incredible season with the Twins, hit 38 homers, he got some votes. He has not gotten any votes since. But I have extremely high hopes for the season, and I think that he's going to bat 260, 270 with 30 homer pop, and I think he's going to sneak in a couple MVP votes. Yeah, is that a hot take?
I would say
1 to 10.
I'm giving that a 9 out of 10 hot take right there. I mean that is sizzling if we're being honest.
He has gotten MVP votes before, so it's not like this would be the first occurrence of that. It's been a while, but there's that player in there,
Yeah, all-star selection, I would have been like, oh, all right, like that's cool. Like maybe as an incredible first half, but MVP votes, man, that's lofty, but I can't say I entirely disagree. I think this is a guy that hasn't really had the luxury of being able to hit like between actual legitimate threats. And I think he's going to get pitches. Like, I think pitchers will approach him in a way he's never seen before. And I think he's going to thrive, especially in a small ballpark.
Yeah. So you highlighted a couple of the things there. He's going to get pitched to here because this lineup, the Twins had some good teams, but they didn't have a lineup like we do. He's going to bat behind some guys who are going to really force pitcher's hands. They're going to have to pitch to somebody, and I think it's going to be him. And it's a good ballpark for just about anybody, but lefties hit very well here. And on top of that, I mean, when you're thinking of MVP voting, he's a great defender. So you're talking like WAR starts to add up. The really old heads start looking at the defensive stats, and all it takes is one guy. All it takes is one guy to say, I think that guy deserves a 20th place vote. And suddenly you're on it. I mean, you look at some of the guys who received MVP votes last year. Ezekiel Tovar received votes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's too crazy, but it would be a best case scenario for Max Kepler. And I do have very, very high hopes for him, especially after the spring we just saw where he just crushed the ball.
I guess now that you bring up that point about Ezekiel Tovar getting votes, how many votes do you think he's be like the top 10 of votes? Can we narrow it down? Because now that you say it, it is kind of a broad prediction.
So from what I understand about MVP voting, you pick, I believe you can pick up to 20 guys, and as long as or at the top 20, I don't know how it works, but I looked at it and somebody had one vote and they were in like 20th, but it only went up to 20. So,
all right. So he'll be in the 20.
Yeah. If he's in the top 20, or if he receives one vote, he's on the list. And,
I think that would still be very impressive. So
yeah,
even to get one vote here.
I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I may have a vote. So,
they're letting you vote?
They might. I mean, we don't know who's voting. It could be you for all I know. All it takes is one guy.
All it does is take one guy that gets propagandized by Josh Knapp.
I think the Philly beat has 2 votes from what I remember. So you never know.
All right. Well, that's a hot one. I'm going to back it with a guy who I think is going to win MVP. I'm predicting a trifecta for the man, the myth, Bryce Harper. Not the triple crown, to be very clear. I dabble with that one when thinking, but I think Bryce is going to win an MVP. I think he's going to get his first Gold Glove at first base, and I think he's going to get his first 40 home run season since 2015.
Okay. Not super. I wouldn't say it's super hot take because
pretty hot.
He has 2. He has 2 MVPs.
Only one other time has he got 40 home runs in a season.
Yeah, that might be the hottest take because that would kind of he'd have to kind of change his swing. At this point, he doesn't have to launch for home runs like he kind of used to. He's really numbed down his swing to be a better contact hitter and quicker to the ball, and just being able to barrel it up really well. But he's an MVP type player for sure. The things working against him are obvious at this point. There's some really good players in the NL. Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto is now in the NL. Francisco Lindor is very good. Mookie Betts is awesome. Tatis, just go down the line. There's so many good young players. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. I think that's like a 6 on the crazy-o-meter.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the combination of the 3 would be pretty incredible, especially jumping over guys like Matt Olson for a Gold Glove would be pretty impressive out of Bryce. And I personally am just seeing it. To me, just in my chest, it kind of feels like one of those years where Bryce Harper's kind of sliding back down the pack of stars, and it's like that Bryce, like, hey, like, don't forget about me kind of year.
Yeah, that's so true. You see it in fantasy baseball too, where Bryce does Bryce things and people think it gets kind of boring and they just forget about him, but it's still incredible what you can do day in and day out. And if he does have an MVP type season, the supporting cast is much better now than it was in this last season. So something's going to go very right if he has an MVP type season.
I think so. I think a lot of the momentum would carry us to the promised land if we see something like that.
Yes. Okay, so bold prediction number 2. I'm going to be honest, I still can't decide on what I want to do because there's so many different ways here. I think I'm going to go with this. I think the Phillies are going to have 4 starting pitchers in the All-Star game. I don't even think that's too crazy now that I said it out loud, because I mean, first off, you have to name the 4 pitchers. It's going to be Wheeler, Nola, Luzardo, and Chris Sanchez. Yeah, I think they're all going to put up terrific seasons, and I think they'll all make the All-Star game. Assuming they're healthy, I really think they all have the upside to be top 12 starting pitchers in the National League. That's kind of where I'm at with all of them. And I know we had a lot of pitchers last year, but we had a couple of relievers and stuff. But I'm thinking a little more out of the staff in terms of production for the first half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that. I would call that hot, because I think we kind of shoe in Wheeler as that guy. He should make an All-Star game if he does Wheeler things. But the rest, we got 3 guys who we know are solid, but I don't know if they're going to reach that caliber of play. Yeah, I give that about a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 on the hot scale. Yeah, I mean, I think a guy like Ranger Suarez is kind of got his back against the wall already. He hasn't had a good second half starting in his career, and he's already on the injured list. He's already going to lose 3 starts. I think he's already an uphill battle there.
Yeah. Well, he's the 5th. He's not one of the 4.
Who's the 4?
Wheeler, Nola, Luzardo, Sanchez.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've all made All-Star games. I don't remember if Luzardo snuck one. He must have. Those Marlins teams were terrible.
Yeah, he must have in that 2022.
And I know Nola's been there, and I know the other 2 were there last year. I don't think it's crazy. I'm starting.
Okay, I'm bringing that down to a 4 out of 10 on the hot scale. I thought Rangers one of the 4 for a second there.
Yeah. Just for transparency, what I was between was that, and my other one was we have the battery and that starts the All-Star game with JT and Wheeler, but I don't think that's that crazy at this point. Wheeler could totally start the All-Star game, and then JT, the catcher position's pretty weak. Like I didn't think that was that crazy. So I'm going to go with the pitchers. I'm betting on the pitchers.
Yeah, I think that is crazier. So,
all right, what else you got?
And then my bold prediction, I'm kind of running it back from last year where I was wrong, admittedly wrong, but I'm adding another aspect to it. I got Bryson Stott. He's going to get his first All-Star game. He's going to get his first Gold Glove, and he's going to raise his OPS by 100 points and be at 771 or above.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I think Bryson Stott's an awesome hitter. The injuries. So yeah, the injuries there's a lot of injury stuff coming out, and I don't know if they were just awesome at hiding it last year, but you didn't hear about any of this stuff last year. Boom, there's a whole thing about too. That makes me feel very good about everybody at this point. Like I just think that if they're healthy and they had a full off season to recover, they're going to come out looking like the players we think they can be. And I think Bryson Stott is. I don't want to say superstar, because that's dramatic, but I think Bryson Stott's a 300 average hitter in the majors. I think he's really, really good, and I think he's going to get back to kind of his old ways of just being a menace up at the plate, being a tough out, being able to just spray the ball all over the field, and just annoying pitchers.
It's a headache.
Hitters. Just being annoying, stealing bases, good defense, putting the barrel on the ball, and just making his mark in the way that he knows how to make it.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. I think that injury was the only thing holding him back from being that absolute headache on the baseball field that can do pretty much everything from patience, contact, base running, fielding. He can pretty much torture you all over the field. And I think that having him back in full force is going to obviously be huge for this team. And like you said, I think a lot of people saw that Gelb article talking with Bohm kind of going through his hand injury. No one really knew about that. We kind of just brushed that off and didn't think about it come playoff time, but clearly it hurt him. And then even JT, a guy, we knew about that one. But
bold take number 3, Alec Bohm is going to hit 40 homers.
We're only allowed to have 2 predictions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Allowed to have 2 predictions.
Yeah, no, I ruled out the Alec Bohm one. I figured, people would get sick of that one because one, I'm always wrong, and two, I talk about Alec Bohm all the time. I thought you were going to go Bryson Stott's going to just something with Bryson Stott in the leadoff spot. I thought that's kind of where you were going to go with that, but I agree more with the one you said.
Yeah, no, I think that Bryson Stott in the leadoff spot is something we're starting to hear about. I think Ruben brought it up on the radio, and now people are kind of talking about it a little bit more. And I think it's something that me and you have both been okay with, the idea of it, but he hasn't been performing to the level to justify it. And I know how Topper is, and I think it would take quite a bit of time for him to get to that leadoff spot.
Yeah, well, the fact that they're not super committed to a lineup leads me to believe that the door is more open than we think it is for Bryson Stott. He won't commit to Trey Turner, and but he won't not commit to Trey Turner. It's like he's just saying like, oh, we'll see, and it'll depend, and that obviously leaves the door open to anything, in my opinion. And if Bryson Stott comes out looking like that guy from a couple of years ago, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think that kind of leads us into. I have a question for you. It's opening day eve. It's one of the biggest holidays in the whole world. Everyone,
that's not true.
Pretty much everyone looks forward to this day all over the world. People don't sleep at night because they know the Phillies are playing.
It's a federal holiday. Everybody has off work.
Yeah, the banks are closed. Stock market's closed.
Mail tomorrow. No mail.
But on this beautiful holiday eve, Josh, what is your message to Rob Thompson for the 2025 season? You got him on the phone. You have him on the phone. What are you telling Topper?
Oh my God. I'm telling Topper, don't be scared to try new things and see what works, because it's been a long couple of years of staying true to people, and he's gotten a lot of praise for it. I will give him credit for that. When someone's in a funk, he lets them work their way through it. But if you feel like the upside and the kind of the glue that's holding this team together isn't working quite as well as we think it should, don't be scared to mix it up. Throw Bryson Stott in the leadoff spot for a day. Mix up the outfield. It's just whatever you think you should do. If Jordan Romano doesn't look super sharp, throw Kirkring in there for a couple weeks. See how he takes to it. It's just mess around and be more active and aggressive in finding a mix that can win us a World Series. Sure, the core is good enough to get us to the playoffs, but find the combination of strategies that can get us through October to the World Series and onto Broad Street to celebrate.
I think that's a fantastic message.
Yeah, and along with that, we don't have a ton of prospects, but we have some interesting guys. And if the point comes where someone's really struggling and it's been a long time coming, give the opportunity to the guy you think deserves it. It's I don't really have anybody off the top of my head other than Painter, who's obviously going to get his opportunity anyway. But if somebody plays up like an Otto Kemp or something, find a way to get him in the lineup, see what happens.
I agree. It's something the Phillies, it's not really in their DNA to trust those guys. We're more of a baby, the prospects, until the perfect moment, and then let them go. But clearly that hasn't really worked for us. Like if just in a numbers game, if you just kind of look at some of the failures over the years, one of the only guys that we seem to give that trust to is Johan Rojas, which is very funny because he's probably like the one guy I would have let develop offensively in the minor leagues. So it's just funny how that works out. But I agree. If there's an injury, the Rincones, the Crawfords of the world, pop them in there because we want them to learn. They're going to have to hit major league hitting at some point. We gave them exposure in spring training. Anytime you can get them a little bit of exposure, even if it's just a weekend call up or something like that, let it rock.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to. I don't want the same Phillies that I've seen for the past 3 years. They're a terrific team, but I want something more in this rendition of the team. The boring veterans are great and stable, but yeah, don't be scared to mix it up, and don't don't kind of like don't go easy on the veterans. Trey Turner spent a whole season trying to adjust his swing last year to no avail. There's a difference between patience and just not getting anything done. So I think he needs to kind of step up and be a little more active in just managing this team. We like to think they can manage themselves, but he's there for a reason, and I'd like to see him play up to that a little more.
Yeah, I think that would be great advice to him.
Do you have anything that you would add to my call? Let's say I added you. It's a 3-way call now. I just finished my spiel. Johnny would like a word.
Say, Rob. Josh had a lot of great things to say, and you should listen to him. But as a mindset, be bold. Go back to the old Gabe Kapler days when that was our weird social media slogan. Be bold, and if you're going to make a decision, stand by it. Don't be indecisive. Indecision in the city of Philadelphia will get you out of a job. We will run you out of this town if you are going to be wishy-washy with the lineup all year. If we don't see the guys like Stott and Marsh in there on opening day against the lefty, we're going to run you out of town because those guys have proven to be starters. And we don't want that Gabe Kapler ticky-tacky type of finicky data roster. Like, we want our guys who we know with enough at-bats are going to produce, and let them rock and show some emotion. I know you're a good Canadian dude and you're a friendly guy, and I personally love that about you, Coach. But tear into these guys once in a while. It's Philadelphia, for Pete's sake. I mean, that's if you have to get to a presser and maybe drop an F-bomb, people love that shit.
That would be something. Yeah, just immediately off the top of my head, if he's looking for an example, let's assume, Rangers back kind of takes longer and it's late May and, Taijuan Walker is still not effective, but, they don't want to bring Andrew Painter up till late June or July. No, bring Andrew Painter up and figure it out. Let the kid figure it out up here. You have plenty of good pitchers. That type of stuff. I don't want to see Taijuan Walker stretched out because of we're paying him and he gives us innings and Painter's not. No, I don't want to hear any of that. Let's let the guys run. Let's watch with our eyes and use some intuition here and find something that works, because I want this to be the year.
Yeah, no, you're so right, and that might have been an approach that worked the past couple of years because we were excited to be elevating ourselves like talent. We were getting better and better, but the expectations, I mean, they're different this year. We've been going in the wrong direction. Everyone knows it. The energy in the city is a lot different on opening day this year than it has been. I think a lot more people are feeling in a negative way, even though this is one of the most talented teams we've had in my lifetime. And I think that's what people just need to see. I think people need to see that you want it now. Like we don't, no one cares if what your made up cherry pick reason for keeping Taijuan Walker in. His split's been looking really good. His location's been good. It's really going to make the split good. No one buys that. Look at the ERA. Look at the results. I mean, it's just not going to fly very long this year. The leash is going to be short. If they struggle, Topper, your head's at the chopping block. So make decisions with your balls, not your mind here. And yeah, man. Josh, I do have one more question too, because
tell me it's not another phone call. I don't want to call Dave or anybody.
No, it's more of an introductory message to the season. But I just kind of picking your mind again. Like, I mean, I know I'm more of a radio head and a Twitter guy than you are, but the overall vibe of the team this year is they don't deserve to be ranked the third overall team. People think that's an overrating. People think that this team didn't do enough in the offseason. They think we're going to have the same problems. They don't see any reason for us to go further than we did last year. What do you think of the negative feeling on opening day, and is it the right feeling?
It's not the right feeling negative. I think it might be appropriate to feel cautiously optimistic more so than the past where we were just blatantly optimistic. I think the team right now, one, they're healthy, which is a big step in the right direction. There's really no questions in terms of the back end of the pitching staff anymore. Like it's a more complete team relative to last year. And I know that people say that every year. We didn't get a ton of major upgrades this year, but it was a team that won 95 games, and it was a team that we really did feel like was one of the better teams in the National League, and it's largely the same team. So just on that basis alone, this team's good enough to get to the playoffs, and I think it's a little deeper than it was last year. I think we raised the talent floor, and I just think that, you get this team in a short playoff series. It can go either way, but it can definitely go our way still.
Well said. Very well said.
Okay, is that it for the I'm done with the speeches, okay? I'm not a speech guy.
Yeah, not bad with words, I will say.
All right, yeah. Opening day, it's here. We're pumped. I'm hoping next time we get on here, it's a good week, and we don't go like that one season where we were like 1-6 or whatever. Hoping for some good vibes. We've got the Nats, and then oh man, I'm going to those games. What's the first
Rockies.
Okay, so two mid-tier, lower tier teams. It should be a nice, easy start to the season, and I'm expecting a good start. We'll cross next week off when we get there. But yeah, I'm pumped. Got anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm wishing the Phillies some good luck going into this year, and to all us, the fans in doubt right now, I would say toughen up. This is Philadelphia. We're not afraid to lose. You're either all in or you're out. I mean, this is.
I like that. That's a good one.
I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Stop whining. It's annoying. This is a great team. This is a golden era of Phillies baseball. We've only seen this this sort of success one other time in our lifetime. If you're in your 20s, maybe your third time if you're a bit older, but you don't get this every day. This isn't 2017 anymore. We're not watching Aaron Harang pitch for the Philadelphia Phillies. We're not watching Sean O'Sullivan make spot starts. We have a top 5 baseball team, people. Get excited because it really doesn't get much better than this.
Well said. As always, thank you guys for listening, and we will be back to talk to you soon.